What's up, everybody? Welcome into another Big Men on Campus preview video. This is the NBA Picks and Preview Show for Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019. Our first show, Skee Profit and I, will be here every day, 6:30 Eastern, talking the NBA card. I'm excited about this to get the great Skee Profit on. I think him and I will provide great chemistry as usual. Skee, how you doing?
I'm doing well, bro. It's good to be back on here talking hoops with you.
I agree. We've worked together in the past. I got to tell you, Ski, and I don't know if you agree with me. This summer was the longest summer in the history of summer.
I for sure
And
agree.
it seems like it was years ago. Remember when we talked like the finals? It seems like that was like 2 years ago.
It
Uh,
does.
but we're back. It's good to see you. We're able to talk about whatever we want. We got an avenue to talk about every game if we want. Basically, this show is going to be short and sweet, guys. We're going to go through each game. We're going to try to find some value on this card and really, try to find some winners here, as they say. Ski, last night, a quick kind of recap. I only had the Clippers. I took them live. I got them at a money line price. They were up six or so, and I just thought, you looked at the game, the way the game was going, and they had a big rebounding edge. The bench was terrific. I mean, that's going to be a strength of them all year. And I think right now for the Lakers, the question is who can come off this bench and give you valuable minutes? Because I got to tell you, and I'm sure you don't want to see this as a Laker fan, I don't want to see KCP and Dwight Howard late in games. What'd you have last night? Did you make any other plays? There were only two games.
Right. And I agree as far as your point on KCP and Dwight Howard. For one, I wish we could just like trade KCP and get Iggy, free Iggy.
Yeah, that'd be a
But
nice move.
as far as the game, I did have the Lakers in that game, so I took a loss on that one. I had a bet on Toronto also that cash, so one in one
Wow.
day, not bad.
Got lucky on that one, huh?
Yeah. As far as the Clippers, though, like I like what I saw. They're definitely going to be a great team. They were a great team last year. Their second unit, I don't think too many other teams are going to compare or match up or be able to
Mhm.
keep up. So I like the Clippers, especially when Paul George comes back.
Yeah, I mean the fact that they were without Paul George, Lou Williams is such an offensive threat, man. He is so good off the dribble, really any way possible. And he really just kind of does his own thing. He's a good player, but when you need a bucket, you can count on Lou to always make one. I thought JaMychal Green played well last night. Patrick Patterson. I wasn't in love with Mo Harkless, but he'll grow into that team and grow into that role. Kawhi just makes everybody better, as they say. So it's only going to get crazier when Paul George comes back. Let me ask you, Ski, is Patrick Beverly not the most undervalued player in the NBA? I mean, he really does everything. I would really do backflips to get either him or Lou Williams on the Sixers. I think they both provide such a different game, but they're so dynamic. I mean, they're just electric, and they're on the same team.
I agree. I would say more so before his new contract he got because he wasn't really making any money and he was doing the same work. So yeah, I definitely see him. Pat Bev is a dog, and if I had to pick one of the two for the Sixers, it would be Lou Will.
Yeah, well, they need a Lou Will badly, and you know what's so sad is he actually was here for a lot of years, and they allowed him to move on, which sucks. But all right, let's get into the show here. Let's get into tonight's games. We appreciate everyone checking this show out. Make sure you join us every day. If you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button. I got a lot of great content going out. I got NBA. I got college football. College basketball will be here very soon. Donnie and I do NFL stuff. We got college previews. Donnie and I do the right side of campus every day. A lot of great stuff here. We got Joe Duffy. We got Skee Profit. We got all sorts of people here. This is uncensored. We have fun here, and we put out fucking bangers. All right, let's get into it. Ski, we'll start up top, 505, 506. Detroit headed on the road to take on Indiana. Indiana currently a 7.5-point favorite, total 210.5. No Blake Griffin, no Victor Oladipo, so the star power definitely in this game is not there. Now, Ski, whenever I look at these games, I always kind of go through each game and I say, okay, what would I have made this line? I thought this was a bit high, really, to be real honest with you. You look at Indiana, lose some key pieces last year. You lose Thaddeus Young, you lose uh, Bogdanovich, and you got some new players coming in. Obviously, a lot of teams have to deal with that. But you look at the core of this team, though. This front court's going to be really good with Turner and Sabonis. Sabonis actually got a payday. But I look at Detroit and I have some concerns. I mean, no Reggie Jackson, no Luke Kennard. Obviously, I mentioned Blake Griffin. Look, if Blake plays tonight, I have a lot more interest in this game. It's a tough one. Gun to my head, I'd grab the points, but this is not going to be a game I'm wagering on. You like anything here?
Yeah, I have to say, one thing about Detroit, I mean, both of these teams, Detroit much better at home than they are on the road. Indiana much better at home than they are on the road. So it's a great spot for Indiana in that regard. Um, like you said, you don't really want to back Detroit without Griffin. It does look like a lot of points, but I mean, Indiana's dominated Detroit. They're
Yeah,
1-8.
it's a good point.
Detroit's 1-8 against the spread last 9 at Indiana. Detroit plays again tomorrow. Um, I would look. I mean, even though it's ticked up from 5 to 7, there's no other way that I would play it than with Indiana. And honestly, as far as like the total, I think without Blake Griffin, it's less ball stopping, more ball movement, and I think that means more points.
Yeah, it's a really tough game. I think the number's kind of right where it probably should be. If you're getting that 7 and a hook, I think there's a little value in Detroit. I still think I'm one to, again, when I see players out, I think the markets generally overvalue a lot of these players. You are going to get Markieff Morris playing tonight, so that's a nice bull to have up front. But yeah, it's a tough game. It really is. It's not a game I'm going to be wagering on. It doesn't sound like you are either. So for me, I think we just kind of move on with this one. With no Blake Griffin, I just don't have a lot of interest. Him and
Let me
that
ask
group,
you.
him and that group up front. I mean, they can go at Sabonis and Turner. Without Griffin, the luster's just kind of off. Detroit. Let me ask you from a Detroit perspective, with Blake Griffin and everybody healthy, a lot of people talk sleeper with this team. A lot of people talk sleeper with Indiana as well. I think you and I both agree, though, that with Oladipo back, that's a dynamic team. With Brogdon there now, you got a really good front court. I wonder, though, I don't love the bench. I mean, it's good. It's not great. Can Jeremy Lamb kind of be that guy off the bench who can play other positions? TJ McConnell, nice pickup there. I don't love the bench. Two
TJ
teams, though,
Warren.
that should be surprising and exciting, right?
I definitely agree. And like you said, Brogdon, great pickup. TJ Warren, he's a bucket. He'll
Yep.
go out there and get you a bucket. You need that when you don't have Oladipo.
Good point.
I'm much higher on the Pacers than I am on Detroit. I think they'll hold it together before Oladipo comes back, and they'll be better when he does come back. And I'm not quite sure that I would call Detroit a sleeper. I don't really have a lot of confidence in that team.
And it is the East Coast, so I mean, the Eastern Conference is very. You can fucking get 4 or 5 people together on a team and make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. I want to let everybody know we get the best for NBA. I will have college as well, and there's nobody better than me in college basketball. There are so many pretenders out there. Come to the real man. Come to the real guy. You know how it goes down. Big men on campus at 5. We got this show at 6:30. It's going to be great. College basketball coming up very soon, 2 weeks away. Ski, let's keep it moving. Cleveland, another team that's in a rebuild, as they say, on the road at Orlando. Listen, Ski, the whole world is betting the Magic. This line's continued to tick up, tick up, tick up. Nobody believes in Cleveland, but let me tell you something. There's a guy on the sidelines by the name of John Beeline, and there's no guy I'd rather have leading a young team than John Beeline. I actually don't hate this team either. I think, the addition of obviously getting Colin Sexton a year ago, I think is, again, he had a tough year to start, but, now that he has some cohorts there that can actually play with him. I don't think this is a team that's horrible. I don't think they're the Hornets. I like Chetty Osman. I think he's a pretty solid player. I like that they went out and got Alfonso McKinney. He's a nice role player for them. And, again, you don't have Dellavedova, but I think Jordan Clarkson can fill that role particularly early. This isn't a great team, but I'm also not running to lay almost double digits with the Orlando Magic. I kind of like Cavs here in a sneaky spot to maybe stay within the number. What do you think here?
Hey, I would have to agree with you. And like you said, you have that name for a reason, big man on campus. Beeline, great coach at Michigan.
Yes, sir.
Um, we'll see what he does on the pro level. I mean, I wouldn't be doubting him. I would expect him to do good things here. And I mean, the talent is starting to get a little bit better in Cleveland. I did have a stat. I might mess up the wording a little bit, but it was teams that won 25 games or less the previous year. Everybody wants to fade them the first game of the year. and they cash at 59.2%.
Yeah, I mean that's I think a lot of it has to do with obviously the excitement of a new year. You see it all the time. You see it in any sport. Eventually, the reckoning day will come for these kind of teams where they have to just face the fact that they're not good. But you know, think about your first day of school, Ski. Everybody's all friendly and shit. It's a great day, right? There's very little work to do early on. It's exciting. That's what the NBA is. I'm sure like is on every other sport. You have excitement early on. There's a prospect of let's shock the world. Look, I would have loved if I'm getting John Henson and Dellavedova. I want some of those veterans, particularly early on. But you do have Kevin Love. You have Tristan Thompson. I'm really banking on Garland and Sexton to be that kind of 1-2 punch at the guard position, and to do wonders. If I had to bet this, I'm going to take the points here for sure. I think this is a spot where the underdog will hang around. Orlando, I'm not running to. I don't love their guard spots. I'm not a big DJ Augustin guy. I don't love what they do. Markel Fultz. I mean, come on. I'll tell you, though, and I want to know if you agree with me here. This Magic team, that front court is fierce, man. They got a fierce front court.
Yeah, I do like their front court. And the thing I'll say about the Magic is they return. I mean, it's a lot of the same players that were on the team last year,
Yeah.
so it could be great chemistry out the gate. That's the one concern I would have. But at the same time, I don't want to lay 8.5 points with the Magic.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're not getting the best number here. You could have got 9.5 earlier today. I'm sure there's even tens on certain places. Again, if and you need to understand this if you're betting sports, if you are continuing to bet bad numbers, you will not win. You can't keep doing it. You can't just say, "Oh, well, I guess I just bet it at that number." It works sometimes, but you can't consecutively keep doing it. But you give me the Magic, Aaron Gordon, John Isaac, Farouk Aminu, Vucevic, Mo Bamba. That's a pretty damn good front court, if you ask me. A young group with a lot of promise. All right, Ski. Nothing in the first two games, as far as I can see from us. This one should be interesting. Philadelphia down at Wells Fargo Center. I'm sorry, actually, we're skipped one. Chicago and Charlotte. How could we have forgotten this one? This tight matchup of two great teams. Chicago and the Hornets. Current number on this game, Bulls 3.5 total. 217. You can get a 4. There are 4s around there, but mostly 3.5s. Listen, we all know, Ski, the Charlotte Hornets are the worst team in the NFL. It's not even, or NFL, NBA. It's not even close. This is a bad team with very little talent. Michael Jordan, I don't know what he's doing there. It's time to bring in some talent, but they're selling. I mean, the only guy they brought in was Terry Rozier. They gave him a ton of money, and it was a ridiculous contract. Nicholas Batum is hobbled. I think he's going to play tonight, but I don't know how healthy he is. Nothing on this team excites me really, outside of maybe Miles Bridges. I think he's an exciting player, but the Bulls I'm actually quite high on. I think they could have a big year. I think it was important to get Chris Dunn out of that point guard role. I didn't love ever what I saw from him there. And I'm not saying he can't be a valid backup, but as a starter, I thought they kind of skimped there. They go out and get Satoransky, who's a pretty solid player. I've often said, Ski, I love European players. They just are rugged, tough guys. And I'll tell you another great front court. Talk about this one. Thad Young, Lauri Markkanen, Daniel Gafford, Wendell Carter, Otto Porter. I mean, this is a great front court. I like the Bulls here. This is a square game, but I don't see a situation where the Hornets hang. I just don't.
Yeah, as you said, Hornets are pretty much like damn near bottom of the barrel. Not really much to like there besides that they're a good home team here. But I mean, the Bulls, we expect on paper, I mean, they look pretty good. I mean, it's a better roster than the Hornets for sure. But like you said, the front court, Wendell Carter Jr., Markkinen, that young, I like what I see right there. And it's very tough for me to lay points on the road with the Bulls, but there's no other way I can play this game than with the Bulls. And I'll say you said nothing really much to like from us in the earlier game, but I think I disagree with you. I do like Indiana, big man.
Do you? Okay. Yeah, it's Ski like in Indiana. Definitely have fun with that one. I'm not going to be involved, so I'll root for you on that one. I don't know. Indiana, they're talented. They're just, missing some guys. I
And they
want them
have a
with,
new coach.
sure.
They're going to
No,
play up for their new coach.
No, I definitely agree with you on that. I want to see them at full strength with Oladipo. I think they'll be a really good team in the playoffs. They'll be a team that's definitely going to bother teams. Kind of like the Sixers did back in the day when the Pacers were kind of the favorite. But yeah, Nate McMillan, a solid coach, always done some good things in this league for many years at Portland and places like that. Yeah, I think Indiana will be a solid group. I just feel like there's better plays on the board here personally. Also, Skee, quickly, let's get into Boston and Philadelphia down at the Wells Fargo Center. Philadelphia 6-point favorite, total 214. Listen, I've talked candidly. I don't love this Sixer team. I know a lot of people do, and just because I'm a fan, I have to blow them and everything. I'm not going to do that. I think there are concerns with this team, particularly in the half court. Who scores? Where are the shooters? Do they have a good bench? Has Joel Embiid lost the weight, and is he physically ready for this kind of season? Is Ben Simmons, has he developed a jump shot of any kind? There's some solid things to like about him as well. Defensively, they're going to be great. For this game, though, Skee, I don't have any reason to believe that the Boston Celtics can guard Joel Embiid. If I'm looking at this game, I'm looking at some kind of prop for Joel. I think he has a big night. From what I understand, his frame is a lot svelter. He looks better. His conditioning is better. I just don't see really anyone that's going to bother him here. And I think if you're the Celtics, that's my big concern with them. I'd imagine towards the deadline they'll go out and get somebody, but I don't know how good this front court is. Enes Kanter is a solid player, but outside of that, I don't really know. I think they have a long night with Joel Embiid. That's the only way I'd look here. But I do like the Celtics. In fact, I picked them to win the East. I think their guard play is phenomenal. And Gordon Hayward's going to have a big year. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, well, the first thing I wanted to say is you talked about the Sixers roster. I mean, I like it's things I like about the roster and a little bit I don't like. I don't like that JJ Redick is gone because he complements Simmons so
Hate it.
well. And you touched on Embiid. Yeah, he should feast. Usually Celtics give him trouble, but that's usually Horford and Baines, and now Horford is on his team.
Both gone. Yeah, you're
So
100% right.
you just have Enes Kanter and Theus there. I don't really see much resistance. Kanter was never a good defender. He did play good in the playoffs, but Embiid should eat. If he's not going to eat on Kanter, I mean, what is he doing? Um, the way I want to look at this game, with that said, with that advantage for Embiid, if you like the Sixers, I feel like you have to take the first half. Last year, they won the first half. The point differential was 6.5. They averaged 61 points per game at home. Boston was known to be a team that started slow. They averaged 52, a little bit over 52 points in the first half per game. So if I'm back in Philadelphia, I will be backing them early. And outside of that, I would still think Boston can cover. Brad Stevens, I give Boston the coaching advantage over Philadelphia. Like you said, guard play is really great for Boston. Boston, I mean, they swapped Kimba with Kyrie, but that should be better chemistry. The team didn't like Kyrie around anyway. Kimba, he's a Sixer killer. He averages 37 points per game versus Sixers. Boston 5-0 against the spread last five versus Sixers. 5-1 against the spread last six at Philadelphia. Full game, I would have to be rocking with Boston. If you like Philadelphia, I would urge you to take probably first half.
Here's what I'm thinking here. If I played this, I agree with you in the first half. Great point. Also, keep in mind, Sixers have been great at home 55 and 37 against the spread the last three seasons. They've been very good inside that building. And I'll tell you right now, this city is on fire about the Sixers because the Eagles are playing like shit. I've heard a ton of Sixer love this week. And you know what the Sixers have now is they have just a fan base that I mean you have women rooting for this team now. There's so many extra fan bases that have come to this team. They love the Sixers. The Sixer town all of a sudden. It's going to be a great crowd there tonight. I agree with you though. They've started hot. I feel like the Celtics will hang around and find a way because, as you said, Kemba kills his team. And I love the chemistry between him. He's just a bucket getter. You got the two, Tatum and Brown, who can defend. They play at a high level. I just really worry about Embiid. If I like this game as well, I'm looking over the total. I know the Sixers defense is good, but they struggle against Kemba. Embiid will have a big night on the block. I think there's some points here. But I agree with you. I think this is if I'm looking Sixers, I'm looking first half. I'm looking Celtics more full game. And at any rate, Embiid props, if you can find something on Embiid props.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Um,
brought that up though, big man. Because on that total, it's dropped quite a bit, right? I don't
yeah,
agree with that line move. I
no.
agree with you on the over.
We're definitely getting the over at the best number here. You look at this one currently, I mean, 213.5 is widely available. And the public loves the under here. They're reading into the fact that this Sixer team is really good defensively, and they will be. But you know what hurts great defense? Great offense and great players. Kemba's a great player. I think we'll find a way to score on this team tonight. And Hayward's healthy. Hayward's gonna have a big year. Watch out for Gordon. All right, let's move on here. Memphis and Miami. Jimmy Butler not going to play tonight. It's good for my Tyler Hero prop. I need Tyler Hero to continue to play well. I need him to have a big year. I took him rookie of the year. I took a flyer on him, Skee. I love this kid. I've said for years I think he's a mini Klay Thompson. You're all going to see that very soon. Plus, he's got a swagger to him. He doesn't let anyone fuck with him. He reminds me of me. I like the kid a lot. Heat are a 6.5-point favorite. This one's come down a little bit. You're basically saying that Jimmy Butler's worth a point. Probably true, especially on this Heat team. Grizzlies obviously in a little bit of a rebuild mode. They get a new point guard, John Morant. I'll tell you right now, Skee, it's going to take John Morant a little bit of time. This is not a guy that's played a lot of high-level basketball. I'm going to tell you right now. Southeast Missouri State and Morehead State aren't the NBA, so it's going to take a little time. But I like Jaren Jackson. I love some of the bigs they have, Jonas Valanciunas. What do you like here? No Jimmy Butler. The numbers moved down a little bit, which makes sense. But, Miami's kind of got other talent to deal with. They have other talent they can throw out there.
Right. And this is not one that I feel very strongly about. I mean, without Jimmy Butler, you have to lean towards, or I would lean towards Memphis. And just in general, Memphis is not that slow, grinded out team anymore. They're playing faster paced games now. Before Jimmy Butler was out, I kind of was leaning towards the over. Now I kind of have to rethink it. So I don't have a strong opinion on this game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're giving me a free bet, I'd frankly probably take the points. I'd probably need 7 though to get involved. This is another game I won't be involved. Carlos in the chat's kind of agreeing on the fast-paced play. That's a good call by you, Skee. If you look back to last year, as far as possessions per game, Memphis was slow, but I think the goal this year is to obviously speed up a little bit. Both these teams are actually quite slow, but Memphis towards the end of the season, Skee, started to play a lot quicker. So we'll kind of hope that they do that here. Next one, Washington and the Knicks. I'm sorry, not Washington. The Knicks and the Spurs. Sorry, Spurs an 11-point favorite. This is ticking up. A lot of public coming in and banging on the Spurs. Total 214.5. Listen, if Mitchell Robinson was playing, I'd definitely take the Knicks, but he's not, and that's a concern. If you know anything about Bobby Portis, he's a terrible defender. I think, I think the boys from the Spurs can eat tonight. I think the Spurs are obviously struggling a little bit to maintain, kind of the star power that they used to have, but still a pretty good team. I like the Knicks. I considered them, but then I found out Mitchell wasn't playing. I got some concerns about this one. I'm off it now. I'm not as interested in it. What do you like here, Skee?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Knicks team in general. They're getting more talent over there. But I mean, I can't back the Knicks here. The Spurs, such a great team at home. Popovich, is going to have his team up and ready. Pretty much the same roster. Added Damari Carroll, Trey Lyles. It would on the spread. It would be Spurs or pass, and I would think there would be less points in this game. I think Spurs will clamp down and just try to make it a focus to play defense to start the year.
We will get a play of the day section. None of these games, Skee, I've personally bet. They're coming up on a couple that I have, but none of these I personally bet so far. I got to tell you, if I can get 12 with the Knicks, I might buy on that. I still think this team has enough talent depth-wise to hang in this game. But Julius Randle, he's not a defender. Bobby Portis ain't a defender. But I like the guard play that the Knicks can throw out. Skee, we're having a little problem with your camera, but either way, we can hear you. So that's all that matters. Let's move on. Wizards headed down to Dallas to take on the take on the Mavs. Everybody's on the Mavs here. This one's moved up to 9. Total is 220. A lot of injuries right now for the Washington Wizards. I know their big pick, Sekou Doumbouya. I know he's out. Obviously, you know John Wall. He's been out for seemingly forever. Isaiah Thomas not going to play. Mahimi's out. CJ Miles. A lot of injuries for the Washington Wizards. Not a good team as it is. I think the only excitement around Washington would probably be Rui Hachimura. I love Rui. I think he has a big season. In fact, I think he could win the Rookie of the Year. I think I'll have a lot of crooked numbers. Lean Dallas here. I'll be interested to see how Porzingis and Doncic play together.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I see I'm frozen here. You can hear me though, right?
I can hear you. Yep.
All right. Yeah, I know you're big on Rui too, but I mean, as you said, Wizards are just so depleted right now. How many people are even suiting up for this game? And Porzingis and Luca, they got what Seth Curry. Um, I like what I see from this team as far as on paper. Boban. I mean, I think Dallas should take care of business here. I don't see any reason to back the Wizards um, at all.
You look at tonight's lineup for the Wizards. This is what you would think it would be. Ish Smith, Brad Beal, Isaac Bonga, Rui Hashimura, and Thomas Bryant. Didn't Bonga play with the Lakers at one point?
He did. Thomas
Couple.
Bryant did also, and Wagner.
Yeah, this is oh yeah, Mo Wagner. He's there too, right? Huh? At the Wizards. I
Yep.
forgot about that. He must be where's he at now? Because he's not on their depth chart, Mo Wagner. Did
Oh,
he set
really?
they might have put him in the G League
I
possibly.
know I saw him. I think in preseason.
Yeah, he's not on their depth chart, which is odd. But yeah, this Wizards team tonight is the worst team in the league as far as this team.
I agree.
I think Dallas. I'll be interested to watch this Porzingis Doncic duo. The Europeans there. That should be fun to watch. I actually really like the Mavs if I had to play it. But again, not a Red Girl makes a good point. A lot of these numbers are a bit high. I just haven't really moved the needle for me with much. Let's keep it moving. 525, 521, 522. This is a game that I'm probably going to bet. I'm seeing if I can get 9.5. I actually like the Thunder tonight against the Jazz. I just think this number is a bit too high, personally. I still think the talent on the Thunder is good enough. I, for one, think that they'll probably play kind of more as a unit without Russell Westbrook. We know his kind of issues. I like Chris Paul. We know he's a great point guard. Danilo Gallinari, good scorer. Steven Adams, Nerlens Noel. I think they still have enough talent. You know, they have Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench. I like the Jazz, but again, they hadn't played particularly well in the preseason. I just kind of think it's too big of a number here, personally, Ski. Any thoughts on Jazz and Thunder?
Nothing big, but this is the last game I came to on the day. And when I look at these two rosters side by side, I mean, I could see how maybe it's too many points. Thunder's roster doesn't look that bad as I
No.
expected. So we even have Gilgis Alexander over there. He's a good player. We'll see what Utah does with Conley as the point guard. I mean, I expect it to be great for the year, but things take adjusting. It could be too many points.
I think the market in general is pretty low on the Thunder. You know, you lose a guy like Russell Westbrook, you think, they're not going to win any games. But, the Jazz, I think, are a team that will kind of get going as the season goes on. We know how that kind of works. I think this number is just a little too high. We know at times they struggle to score, the Jazz. Maybe they go on one of those kind of runs where, they struggle. Mike Conley, new point guard, Bojan Bogdanovic, new player as well. So, sorry, he's been there. The other Bogdanovic, I'm thinking, my fault. I'll tell you though, this Jazz team, a lot of good guards on this team. Whether it's Conley, Mitchell, Moutier, Joe Ingles. I'll tell you, a kid coming out, a bench player, Justin Wright Foreman. He was a terrific scorer at Hofstra. One of my favorite scorers in this draft. He's just a bucket getter. Reminds me a lot of Lou Williams. Don't be surprised if down the road, Wright Foreman is just one of those guys you bring in that can score. He's a good player, a good scorer. I like the Thunder. I'm going to hope to get 9.5. This game doesn't go till 9:05, so I might add this one. Kings and Suns. I'm very high on the Kings, but I'll tell you right now, this is a ratty line.
Oh,
Another
big
team.
man. This is
What's
why I
that?
love working with you, bro. Go ahead.
No,
This
it
I just want
is.
to tell you this is why I love working with you.
It is. Listen, the Suns aren't as bad as as they're being made out to be. And you're going to tell me right now this doesn't make sense. A lot of people don't believe in the Suns, and they're basically in a pick 'em at home against the Kings. I like the Kings, but again, I'm not really running to the window to bet them as a favorite. And I think the Suns are better than their record indicates and what their record will indicate. You look at what they brought in. You bring in Ricky Rubio. Okay, here's what the Suns needed: a fucking point guard. They went out and
Yes.
got one. You got Devin Booker who can play off the ball. He's your go-to scorer. Kelly Oubre is a good three. You got Miles Bridge or Mikal Bridges coming off the bench, who is just a defender. That's what he does. He shoots threes and defends. Dario Saric is a really solid four, and you got Aiden and Bates. Listen, this team is
Kaminsky is
not
solid
that
too.
bad. Ski, they're not that bad.
I agree, bro. Kaminsky is good over there too. I mean,
Yeah,
Phoenix started to play better at the end of the year last year, and like you said, they finally got a point guard. They added a few other players. It's a better team than we've seen, and I will say Sacramento, they pretty much handled Phoenix last year. Who didn't? They lost the one game. They didn't have Bagley. I would like. I've been looking at this game all day, trying to find a way to make myself want the Kings. But as you said, the line is just it's telling. And if they had Harry Giles, I would like it more for the Kings. But since they don't, I'm off of it.
I'm really high on the Kings from a long-term perspective. I think they can easily eclipse 37.5 wins. In fact, I bet it at two different prices. I really like the Kings. I love Buddy Hield. Ski, let me ask you. Somebody ripped me the other night because I thought Buddy Hield was a top shooter in the league. That's not stupid, is it? Buddy Hield's a great shooter. He's one of the best in the league.
He is a great shooter.
I
And he
mean,
has great range as well too.
yeah. I mean, and he's just got paid. The kid's happy. I'm telling you, I'm making this. I'm betting this. I already bet the T Wolves. I'm taking the Suns as well. I like
And
this spot for them at home.
in that same angle I talked about earlier, teams who won 25 games or less, hitting at cashing at 59 percent on that game one. There you go. That's Phoenix Suns.
Bang, bang, bang. Love it, Ski. Love it. Seems like you agree as well. Seems like the chat agrees. I like where we're headed here with this one. Let's go to the next one. Where the fuck is that Minnesota game? We missed that Minnesota game. Let's go back to it. How could I have missed it? I'm betting it. I took Minnesota here. This is a game where I'm kind of irritated. I'm definitely not getting the best number, but I'm still above that 3 point, kind of buffer zone. I got the extra 3.5 here. Listen, I'm pretty high on the T Wolves, Ski, and let me tell you why. I think they can score. Like, I like Jeff Teague a lot. I'm a big Karl Anthony Towns fan. I like some of the young guys they brought in: Okogie, Keita Bates-Diop, Jared Terrell. A lot of those guys are really good at the college level, and I think they come in and play really well also. But let me tell you where I think this team has improved. I think they're going to be much better defensively. It wouldn't surprise me that one of the higher jumpers as far as defensive improvement. I like Okogie. He's a great defender. Covington's one of the best defenders in the league. You look at it, Keita Bates-Diop, he's a solid defender. Really, everywhere you look in this team, they brought in reinforcements defensively. We know what the Timberwolves are built on. It's been run and gun, very limited defense. But I think this team going forward is really going to improve on that end. With Covington brought in, he really kind of changed their kind of goal defensively. Trevion Graham was a great defender at VCU. Jarrett Culver, their number one pick, he was a defensive stalwart. I like this team defensively a lot, and I'm not in love with the Nets. Defensively, I don't like them. I don't like them laying points either. And I know Jared Allen's a great player, but this is a tough ass tonight to guard our boy Karl Anthony Towns. I don't love road teams, but I'm going to back the T-Wolves here. I grabbed them at 3.5. What are your thoughts here?
Um, my initial thoughts, I agree with you on the wing defense, Covington and Kogi. We'll see what Wiggins can do too. I definitely like that look. However, I don't like the bench for Minnesota too much. The starting lineup is solid. I look at the bench on the other side. I think I like it a little bit more for Brooklyn. Minnesota, not a great road team. I try my hardest not to back them on the road. It could change this year. We shall see. They are 4-1 straight up and against the spread their last 5 games versus Brooklyn. The play I like more in this game, I'm gonna look at the total. And I mean, I know it's been steamed a little bit, but Brooklyn, the second half of the season last year, they're number 6 in pace. I know you switched D'Lo for Kyrie. It should still be okay. Minnesota, so far in the preseason, they've been playing super fast, the fastest pace in the league. I think we're gonna see points in this game. I would look at the over.
I'm surprised you're not high on the bench, and I get that. I mean, there's not a lot of big names here, but here's a couple that I want to throw out to you, and I'm telling you, keep your eye. Shabazz Napier, pretty good player. Okogie, I really like. Jordan Bell is a shot blocking machine. Gorgie Gang, pretty solid. And Jared Culver, there's a reason this guy's a lottery pick. He's a good player. Kaden Bates Diop had a good summer league. Jake Layman, pretty decent player. Noah Vonleh can give you 6 and 8 a game. I like the Timberwolves a lot more than I think people do, but I'm going to back them here. I get your point on the over. We know their pace is going to be there, but I believe the T-Wolves are a better defensive team. So it seems like we're kind of on opposite sides here. I get your point on the road aspect. That sucks for sure, but I'm willing to think that I'm going to trust my handicapping and say that I don't think the Nets are a team that should be laying point. I'm not running to bet them as a favorite.
I
Uh,
agree.
I
I
more or
don't want
less
to say
like them
that.
as a dog.
I don't
Yeah.
want to make it seem like I really like the Nets here. I mean, the Nets as a home favorite, I don't think was very profitable. You kind of want them more catching points or just more as a pick 'em. So I'm just saying, in general, I don't like Minnesota on the road. That could change this year.
Yeah. I mean, you look at over the last 3 seasons, Minnesota 36 and 47 ATS on the road. I think the point there is, though, that's important. Those were with much worse defenses. You look at as a home favorite, Brooklyn 18 and 18 over the last 3 seasons. So not they're not making money really. They've just kind of been a good favorite, not necessarily uh, a favorite of at home. They've kind of struggled for whatever reason. All right, let's keep it moving. A couple more to do here, Ski. We'll kind of wrap up at the end with our favorite picks. For me, so far, I like the T Wolves plus 3.5, and I like the Suns plus 1.5. We got four more to what do we got? Four more? No, we got two more or one more. One more, Ski. Sorry.
Like, damn, how many games is it?
Well, no. See, the thing I'm looking at, they threw in tomorrow's games as well. My fault. No, we got one more game. The Denver and Portland. Ski. A
Okay.
lot of people are kind of circling this game for Denver and saying, "Well, we remember what happened in the playoffs last year. They've been kind of circling this game. They're ready to go." And I can't disagree. I really can't. One thing, though, I will say Portland has been an unbelievable home team. They're very good there. But I look at the Portland Trailblazers and I say, well, I like Hassan Whiteside, but I like Hassan Whiteside a little bit more when Nurkic is in the lineup. I think those two will be a great tandem. Nurkic isn't there. I wonder, how do you guard Nikola Jokic here? Jokic is one of the great bigs in this league. I think that's going to be a long night. I'll tell you, though, I kind of like points here. I think that we know Portland can score with McCollum and Lillard. They've obviously added some pieces that, and Rodney Hood that can get to the bucket. There's weapons all over the place here. I kind of like the over. I think this is a pretty high scoring game. What do you think, Ski?
Man, as far as the total, I think it's kind of tricky. I think it depends more so who you like for the side. I think maybe if you like Portland, you probably like the over, and if you like Denver, you maybe like the under.
What?
Um,
Yeah, I think Zach Collins. I mean, he adds kind of an offensive dimension as well. Kent Bazemore, pretty decent player. I'll tell you what. One thing about Portland that I don't love is their bench. I mean,
yes,
I don't love Bazemore. I don't love Tolliver. I guess you kind of hope that Hazonia and Nasir Little, one of their draft guys, hopefully he comes in and can provide you some. Anthony Simmons as well. They need Nurkic back. That way Collins can be that piece off the bench for them. But I kind of like Denver. I think they've been kind of waiting for this game, and I just don't see anyone that can guard Jokic.
so that leads me to my point right there. How you just said you don't like their bench. I don't either. And last year, it was profitable. I'll just say from the playoffs, it was profitable to back Portland in that first quarter because that starting lineup is so potent and Lillard plays the entire quarter damn near. And once they come out in that second quarter, you see a drop off. And Denver, they were a team that starts the game off slow and gets better as it goes on. They were a first quarter fade. Portland was a first quarter play on. Denver was a first quarter fade, and Denver's bench is great. I expect Denver to get better more as the game goes on. So I would, if you're playing Portland, it would have to be first quarter for me. Other than that, I like Denver.
Yeah, I think Portland just kind of hopes that they can hang in the game, with their guard play. I mean, it is terrific. I love McCollum, and Lillard is just a dragon slayer. He is terrific. But I'll tell you, Jamal Murray is really kind of proven. I think he's a go-to player in this league. He's a terrific point guard. Gary Harris, a nice compliment. Will Barton had a good season last year. And I'll tell you guys, watch out, Michael Porter Jr. If Michael Porter didn't get injured, he'd have been the number one pick in that draft. Michael Porter was the best player in the country coming out of high school. I remember he was in the same classes like Lonnie Walker and Mitchell Robinson and those guys. This kid is legit, man. He's really good. If he can be 1/5 of the player he was coming out of high school, you guys are all in for a treat. Michael Porter Jr. is fantastic. Portland's been good at home, but I kind of agree with you. I think Denver's just a bit better. They've been circling the drain for this game. They're ready to go. Skee looks dead inside. Yeah, again, he's frozen. It's not really – notice he can't move. He's like a statue. Skee has a problem with his camera, which we have to get fixed, Skee. We need to be able to see you in live and living color. Okay, Skee, couple of free picks here. For me, I'm going to go Suns plus 1.5. I also took the Timberwolves plus 3.5 as well. What are your plays tonight? What are you liking? Anything you want to share with us?
Oh, I like the Pacers minus the 7,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the plays I like the most. I haven't bet any of the rest of these yet, but I'm looking at them. I like that Minnesota over. I like Boston plus the 6 points and big man. If we can agree on this, I mean, why are we not taking Boston and Philadelphia over?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's what we're going to do. What we'll do here, Skee, is we'll share our plays, our separate plays, and then you and I will do a consensus play.
There you
Let's
go.
do Boston, Philadelphia, over. What's the number? 213.5 currently?
Yeah, let me just make sure.
Yeah, get us an updated number there.
Ooh, shit, damn, we missed it since we've been talking. It's 2:15 now.
No way. Are you fucking kidding me?
2:15, bro. Damn.
Fuck, man. That's brutal. We were fucking on to something here with this one. Skee, you know what's crazy about this game? Let me tell you something. Here's why we're not betting this. Here's why I'm not going to bet it. This morning, at 7-ish in the morning, this number was 210.5, Skee.
That's
210
crazy.
and a half. Let's stay away from it, Skee. I can't bet a bad number like that.
I hear you.
We didn't act quick enough. We have to live and learn. Let's make our consensus play Portland. Or I'm sorry, Denver.
Denver. Oh, that's getting the ass end of the line too.
Are we?
Yeah, they were underdogs by 2.5 points. Now they're favorites by like 2 points.
I could have sworn it was still a 1.5. Oh yeah, they are a favorite now. Then again though, that's not terrible news. Let's just do Denver money line. I'm good with Denver money line. You good with that?
I'm not.
Yeah, it sucks. Well, we got to give something. Let's just give something for our sake of our show.
Minnesota and Brooklyn. You like Minnesota. You don't like the total in that game?
What? Say that again.
You don't like the over in the Minnesota and Brooklyn game?
No, because I think Minnesota's improving defensively. What about? I mean, here's what we'll do today. We can't agree on a consensus because all of our lines have moved. Skee, give your plays again. I'll give my plays. Rock with what you want. What do you got?
Yeah. All right, I have in my pocket, I have Indiana minus the 7. I like that Minnesota and Brooklyn over. I think the last number I saw was 229. I like Boston plus the 6 points. Damn, I wish we could have got Boston over that 213
We
and a half.
fucked around, didn't we?
Man, and then it was one more I liked. Go. I think that's it for now.
All right, I'll go Suns plus 1.5, T Wolves plus 3.5. Those are my two plays tonight. I already bet and had a winner last night, so let's kind of build on that. A couple people in here, actually a lot of people in here. We thank you all for watching. It's why we do these videos. So all of you check out the show. It's very important. Thank you, Ben, Jukes, Big E, Swift Money, Keith Sadler, Cody AV, all you guys in here, every single person. We can't name them, even the people that come in here just to hate on us. Thanks for watching. We couldn't do it without you, as they say. Skee and I will be here every day, 6:30 Eastern, Monday through Friday. Make sure you join us. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. I got all sorts of good sports betting videos coming out, college football, NFL, NBA, college basketball soon. Skee, I want all of you to stop what you're doing and go check out Skee Profit. He's selling his NBA service. Aren't you, Skee? You're doing a great job. Why don't you let us know about that?
Oh yeah, you can find my work on at Wager Talk. And I mean, if you guys want to hang out in like 45 minutes, I'm gonna live bet some of these NBA games on my YouTube channel. So I'll tweet it out. And I like this comment. Jux BSG Ski giggles like a mad genius. People always talk about my laugh.
You definitely do. You kind of have that. You kind of have that. Tee-hee, like it's funny. It's funny. And by the way, this is how you know a guy's destined to do something. Okay, I always knew I was destined to do something in sports, whether it's media or whatever, and I did it because I'm just a fucking G. That's what it is. But Skee Profit, his last name, is actually Profit.
Right. I got
How
lucky with
fucking
that.
crazy is that?
I got to live up to it now, big man. That's pressure.
It is. It is pressure. Skee, you've been very impressive. I'm happy to know you. You've done a great job. And listen, I don't co-sign a lot of people. In fact, I fucking hate this business for the most part. There's a reason Skee Profit's doing a video with me because he's a good guy and he knows what he's doing. I can get anybody to do these videos, and I get Skee because he's very good at it, and I trust him. He's a great guy, and go follow his picks. Go follow what he's doing. Skee, you're going to join me tomorrow as well. We only got a couple games. Maybe we'll throw out a couple futures as well. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Hopefully we can agree on one tomorrow.
We will. Hopefully we get a better number. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Make sure you subscribe. We'll see you next time.